In this presentation, I'm going to talk to you about the digestive structures in the frog and the rat. First, we'll start with the frog. So this picture is showing you the way the frog looks when you open up the body cavity of the frog to hear the fat bodies that we just looked at. Most of what you see right here are the digestive structures. So on this picture, the main structure that you can see and all of this kind of brownish tan area is the liver. So the liver is the site of bile production, which is its primary digestive role. What you can also see in this picture is the stomach, which is this kind of sausage-shaped structure, and then leading from the stomach are the small intestines, which are all these winding structures right here. What I did in this picture was I lifted up the liver, and what you can see right here is the gallbladder. So the liver produces bile, and then the bile is stored in this greenish structure called the gallbladder. And again, you can see here is the stomach, and then the stomach leads to the small intestines, which kind of wrap around down in here. What I did in this picture was I removed the liver and the gallbladder. The gallbladder was housed right here, and you can see more clearly the stomach in its entirety and the intestines. This structure is not a digestive structure. This is the spleen, which has a function in the immune system. And there again, you can see the spleen. What we're interested in here is here are the small intestines that are winding around, and what you'll notice is that leads into this larger, much wider structure right here, which is the large intestine. So this area right here is the large intestine, and that leads to the rectum and the cloaca. So the cloaca is a single opening where amphibians eliminate all of their waste and their reproductive cells. What I did in this picture is I removed completely the digestive system, and I kind of pulled it out to try and determine its length in relation to the frog's body. So what we can see is here's the stomach at the top, here's the small intestine that was wrapped all around inside its body, and then this is the large intestine down here, leading to the rectum and then the cloaca. What you'll notice is the length of the digestive system. If we start from the mouth of the frog and go down to approximately the cloacal opening, you could estimate that this digestive system is about 1.5 body lengths of the rat. So if this is 1 body length from here to here, this is 1 body length in the digestive system, and then this bit is approximately maybe another half of that again. So the frog's digestive system is approximately 1.5 body lengths. And this is just a way that we can compare the frog to the rat when we look at the rat. Okay, so this is showing you the rat's internal organs. And in the rat, there is a thoracic cavity, the thorax, which is the chest region. And that thoracic cavity is separated from the abdominal cavity, which is where you find the digestive organs, separated by this structure called the diaphragm. So if you've done your respiratory structures reading, you'll know about the diaphragm and how it aids in breathing. So frogs actually don't have a diaphragm, which we're not going to get into in this class. So what we're focused on for this section is the digestive structures. So here is the liver. So these are the lobes of the liver in the rat. And then most of what you can see are actually all these coiled intestines that kind of wrap around and get all packed in to this abdominal cavity. So this is a close-up view of the abdominal cavity with the digestive structures, and what I did was I removed the liver. So the liver was actually covering over the stomach. So you can see actually in this picture, here's the diaphragm. Remember, that separates the thoracic from the abdominal cavity. Right here is actually the esophagus. So the esophagus comes down goes into the stomach. So this is the stomach right here. And then the stomach leads again to the small intestines that wind their way around. And it's kind of hard to see the large intestine in this picture because it's kind of all back behind. So what we'll do is I'll show you again, like I did with the frog. I pulled out the entire digestive tube from the rat, and here's what we see. So here's the esophagus that leads to the stomach. The stomach leads to the small intestine, so all of this winding around is the small intestine. And then something we didn't see in the frog is a structure called the cecum. So this is the cecum right here, and the cecum is always found at the transition from the small to the large intestine. And the cecum houses microbes that aid in the digestive process. So this is the cecum, and then this is the large intestine leading to the rectum and then the anus. So if we take that digestive system and again we kind of pull it lengthways and compare it to the size of the rat's body, if we start here and go down to here, which is where the anal opening is approximately, you can see that about 3.5 lengths of the rat's body is approximately the length of the digestive system of this rat. So the rats have a much longer digestive system, and that partly goes along with the fact that they have to extract more energy from their food to maintain their constant body temperature. So rats are endothermic animals, meaning they maintain a constant body temperature. Having fur helps that. Having subcutaneous fat helps that heat to be retained. And then having a really much longer digestive system, a much more efficient digestive system, allows maximum nutrient absorption. The frog, on the other hand, doesn't have as an efficient digestive system, but it also has a lower metabolic rate because it doesn't maintain a constant body temperature.